Listen up, okay?
What if I told you that the most brutal, twisted, and dangerous player in Squid Game Season 2 was actually the real hero?
I used to watch your videos every day, you know? Now my dreams are full of your ugly fucking face.
Yeah, you heard that right. Thanos, the player who had everyone on edge, might just be the unsung savior of the season. But how? Well, sit tight, because this story is wilder than you think. He was chaotic. He was ruthless. He was a menace. But was he also the only player who truly understood the game? Was he the only one who saw through the system and tried to break it from the inside? Buckle up, because this theory is about to turn everything you thought you knew upside down. Before we dive into the madness, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It's free, and it helps us keep bringing you the craziest deep dives into your favorite shows. Who is Thanos? Alright, let's break it down. Who is Thanos, and why did he have Squid Game fans losing their minds?
Red, orange, yellow, green, I'm a legend, Thanos.
Player 230, better known as Thanos, was played by none other than Choi Seung-Hyun. Yeah, that's right, T.O.P. from Big Bang. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here. In the show, Thanos is a fallen rapper who got caught up in a massive crypto scam. He lost everything thanks to a shady YouTuber named Myung-gi. And when I say everything, I mean his fortune, his reputation, and basically his entire future. So what does he do? He joins Squid Game not just to win, but to get revenge. But here's the thing, he doesn't just play the game. He owns it, he controls it like a mastermind. And that's what makes him so terrifying. From the very first game, it's clear. Thanos doesn't just want to win, he wants to make sure others lose. But is he doing it out of pure malice? Or is there something deeper at play here? A strategy, maybe? A way to shake things up? Because whether you love him or hate him, one thing's for sure. He's not playing like the rest. And here's where it gets really interesting. Thanos wasn't just a wild card. He was a disruptor. He made sure no one got too comfortable. And if you think about it, isn't that exactly what you need to survive in Squid Game? Thanos' game strategy, the master manipulator. Alright, let's get one thing straight. Thanos wasn't just another desperate player trying to survive. He was playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. And that made him one of the most dangerous contestants in the game. From the moment the first game started, Thanos did something most players didn't. He took control of the situation.
We'll be playing red light, green light. You are allowed to move forward when it shouts out green light. Stop when it...
Remember red light, green light? While others were terrified, hesitating with every step, Thanos was out there causing eliminations. He pushed weaker players, made sudden movements to distract others, and let's be real, he was kinda enjoying it. Now, you might be thinking, wow, what a psychopath. And you wouldn't be wrong, but hold up, what if I told you this was actually strategy?
Think about it. Squid Game is brutal. The weak don't survive. And Thanos? He knew that from the start. So instead of playing the sympathy game, he made sure to filter out anyone who wasn't ready for war. In a way, he was forcing the strongest to rise to the top. Sounds familiar? Because, that's exactly what Marvel's Thanos did too.
Coincidence? I think not.
But Thanos' strategy wasn't just about eliminating weak players, he was also a puppet master. He knew how to get inside people's heads. He'd whisper doubts, plant fear, and turn allies against each other. Remember that moment in the food line when he humiliated Myung-gi? That wasn't just about revenge, that was a power move.
It sent a message to everyone. I'm the one in control here. You either play with me, or you don't play at all. The dude was playing 4D chess while the rest were still trying to figure out the rules. And here's where it gets even crazier. His strategy actually worked. The people who stayed close to him, they lasted longer. The people who went against him, well, let's just say they didn't make it to the next round. Now, was it ruthless? Yes, but was it effective? Absolutely. Thanos wasn't just playing to win. He was playing to break the game itself. And that's what makes him more than just a villain. That's what makes him a necessary evil. The Mongi Rivalry. Was Thanos actually fighting for justice? Alright, now here's where things get really interesting. Up until now, we've seen Thanos as the manipulative, chaotic player who's willing to do whatever it takes to win. But what if I told you that underneath all that madness, Thanos was actually on a mission? Meet Myung-gi, the slimy, smooth-talking YouTuber who literally scammed Thanos out of his fortune. This guy convinced thousands of people to invest in a fake cryptocurrency scheme and then vanished with their money. And guess what? Thanos wasn't just another victim. He was one of the biggest losers in the scam, left with a crushing debt of 1.19 billion won. Yeah, that's over 900,000 US dollars gone, just like that. Now, here's the thing. Myung-gi never took responsibility. Even inside Squid Game, he kept playing the pity card. "Oh, it wasn't my fault. I didn't mean to scam anyone." Classic scammer behavior. And Thanos? He wasn't buying any of it. From the second they met, Thanos zeroed in on Myung-gi. He humiliated him, exposed his lies, and made sure everyone knew the kind of guy Myung-gi really was. But was this just revenge, or was Thanos trying to make sure Myung-gi didn't win? Think about it. If Myung-gi had made it to the final rounds, he could have walked away with billions. He would have scammed his way through another system and walked out richer than before. But Thanos, he wasn't about to let that happen. In a twisted way, Thanos might have been the only person fighting for real justice in the game. And guess what? His plan almost worked. He backed Myung-gi into a corner. He made him crack under pressure, and when Myung-gi couldn't handle it anymore, well, that's when everything exploded. This wasn't just some petty rivalry. This was war, and in the end, it ended exactly the way it was always meant to. Thanos' final stand. Was he the ultimate? And just like that, the war between Thanos and Myung-gi reached its breaking point. The tension had been building all season. The mind games, the confrontations, the fights. But this was the moment everything came crashing down. Myung-gi snapped. He went from a cowardly scammer to a desperate man fighting for his life. And Thanos, even as blood poured down his neck, even as his body was literally shutting down, he refused to back down. Now, at this point, most players would have just collapsed. They would have given up, but not Thanos. Because Thanos didn't just come to Squid Game to survive. He came to prove a point. He lunged back at Myung-gi, grabbed him by the collar, and made sure that even in his final moments, he wouldn't go down without a fight. And then, just like that, it was over. Thanos collapsed, and the man who had been the biggest disruptor, the wildest player, the most feared contestant, was gone. But here's the part no one talks about. What happened after Thanos died? Because his death, it changed everything. Without Thanos in the game, the balance shifted. The weak weren't being filtered out anymore. The remaining players realized that without someone keeping things real, anyone could get away with anything. And guess what? That's when things got uglier than ever. In a way, Thanos' death exposed the true nature of the game. He had been right all along. This wasn't about fairness. It wasn't about strategy. It was about survival. And the second he was gone, the game became even more ruthless than before. The actor behind Thanos, a real-life redemption arc. So, we've broken down Thanos' role in Squid Game Season 2. But what if I told you that his story doesn't just end in the show? Because the man who played Thanos, T.O.P, real name Choi Seung-Hyun, has a real-life story that's just as shocking, just as controversial, and just as redemptive. Before he became Thanos, T.O.P was a global superstar. As a member of Big Bang, one of the biggest K-pop groups in history, he had everything. Fame, fortune, millions of fans. He was an idol in every sense of the word. But like in every great story, there was a dark side waiting in the shadows. In 2017, his world came crashing down. A shocking drug scandal, marijuana use, which is illegal in South Korea, landed him in serious legal trouble. The government removed him from his military police service. The public turned against him, and then, the darkest moment of all, he was found unconscious from an overdose, barely clinging to life. For most K-pop idols, that would have been the end. Career over, reputation destroyed, but somehow, T.O.P survived, and what he did next, no one saw coming. Instead of begging for public approval, he disappeared from the industry. He reinvented himself, not as an idol, but as an artist. He made history as the first Korean pop star recognized by the global art world. He focused on paintings, sculptures, and exhibitions, a completely new world from the one he once ruled. And then, after years in exile, T.O.P did the unthinkable. He stepped back into the spotlight, not as an idol, not as a rapper, but as an actor. taking on his darkest, most complex role yet in Squid Game Season 2. The show's director, Hwang Dong-hyuk, didn't just cast T.O.P. by accident. He wanted him for the role. Why? Because Thanos wasn't just a villain, he was a fallen icon. A man haunted by his past, desperate for redemption, but trapped in a brutal system that wouldn't let him go. And here's the wildest part. This role, it wasn't just acting, it was real. Just like Thanos, T.O.P. had been written off by the world. Just like Thanos, he had faced public humiliation, personal battles, and the fight to prove he still had a place in this world. And whether you loved his performance or hated it, one thing was undeniable. T.O.P. owned this role. He brought something that no other actor could, his own real-life pain, his own struggle, his own redemption. So, was Thanos just a villain, or was he a reflection of the man who played him? A misunderstood warrior, fighting to reclaim his name. So, let's ask the big question. Was Thanos the villain? Or was he the only one who actually understood the game? Was he the mastermind who broke the system? Or the martyr who sacrificed himself so no one else could be scammed again? And what about T.O.P.? Did he just play a role, or was this his own comeback story, hidden inside Squid Game? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Thanos a villain, a hero, or something in between? And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insane deep dives into your favorite shows.